In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you, students? I welcome you in Pakistan International School Taif's virtual learning system for the session 2020. And this is biology class for grade second year. Dear students, in the previous lecture, we have completed our chapter number 20 that was about chapter number 19 that was about behavior. Today we will start our new chapter that is about reproduction. And in this lecture, we will see male reproductive system. So let's get started. Dear students, if you recall reproduction, because you have studied this in the previous classes, that re means again and production means produce. So to produce new organisms. So reproduction is defined as a biological process in which an organism gives rise to the young ones but similar to themselves. So then these offspring grow, mature, in turn they produce new offsprings, and this is the cycle of birth, growth and death. So reproduction is not essential for the survival of only one individual, but if we just talk about the species and the groups of the organisms, so that is very, very important for the survival of a species. And that enables the continuity of species generations after generations. So here we will talk about human reproduction in this chapter. Human beings are viviparous. We know that, like, they give birth to the young ones. And reproduction always involves a sexual method, like a sexual reproduction in which fusion of the gametes occur. That is happened in human beings. So the gametes are developed in primary sex organs. They are testes and ovaries. So let's talk about male reproductive system first. Male reproductive system consists of a number of sex organs that are part of a human reproductive system, and it produces, it stores and releases male gametes. Those specific male gametes are called sperms, and gametes are the sex cells which are used for the fusion with the eggs to produce new offspring. In male reproductive system, if we just talk about organs, then we will see in this lecture about the function of male reproductive system, pathway of sperm cells, and then we will see hormonal control of male reproductive system as well. So male reproductive organs, if we just see, male reproductive organs are external genital organs as well as internal genital organs. External, which are outside of the body, that is penis and scrotum, and inside the body they are testis, epididymis, vas deferens, and some accessory glands, in which we will study about seminal vesicles, prostate gland and bulbourethral glands. So you can see here the front view and side view of the male reproductive system or the organs. So we can see here that the male reproductive system is present under the urinary bladder. So you can see here some of the organs, like this is very important, that is testis, and the testes are present in the skin pouch that is outside of the body, that is called a scrotum, and the testes are a rounded balls like structure in which the sperms are produced. Actually, each testis is divided into 250 to 300 lobules. What are the lobules? We will see in the next diagram. And each lobule is having 1 to 4 tightly coiled seminiferous tubules. So it produces millions of sperms per day. So the next, there are some accessory ducts as well, like the tubes. These are called epididymis, which are outside of the testis. And then vas deferens, the very important, which collects the sperms, and then it moves into the we can say ejaculatory duct, and then it moves into the penis. So penis is the copulatory organ. We will discuss them one by one. You can see the front view. Here is urinary bladder. There are some glands as well. Seminal vesicle is there, and then bulbourethral gland or Cowper's gland, that is called, that is present here. Prostate gland, that is present here. These glands help to produce like semen or fluid to move, or to help the sperms to move out of the body. And as well as you can see here, the two testes are there, and they are having vas deferens, and they can produce millions of sperms per day. So let's talk about testis. Its plural is also testis, but with e. We can see here the testes are two oval shaped organs, and they produce sperms and male hormones, that is testosterone. That is very, very important primary male sex hormones that actually develop the secondary characters and give maturation to sperms. So here is the testes, one on both of the side, and then you can see here the enlarged diagram of that. So in large diagram of that, there is a testis in which these portions, these are called lobules, and there are almost 250 to 300 lobules are present in one testis. And then this is separated by the skin, as well as it is just composed of 1 to 4 tightly coiled zigzag structures, that is called seminiferous tubules. It means semen, or that is called, the sperms are produced in these seminiferous tubules. Then okay, then we can just see the closer look of that. These there are some accessory ducts present over there. These seminiferous tubules, these one, they collectively joined a hair in this portion. That portion is called a retitestis. Retitestis. And then sperms move from seminiferous tubules to the retitestis for further maturation. The spermatozoa are transported out of the testis by a series of efferent ductules. They are having these type of connections, which are connected with vas deferens. This is vas deferens, and sorry, this is epididymis, and with the retitestis. So the efferent ductules, efferent, that is called efferent, when the word comes, it means they move away from the organ. These tubules move away from the organs, and these efferent ductules, they move away from the testis and take the sperms into it to the epididymis. Epididymis acts as a maturation and storage place for the sperms. So here further maturation of the sperms is done, and storage also. Sperms are stored here. So this epididymis further, it just is connected with ductus deferens, which is this one, which moves out of this testis. and after this they are gonna move into ejaculatory duct, and they move through the some glands. Now we will see here some glands also which are which plays very important role for the production as well as for the maturation of the sperms. The number one is seminal vesicles. Seminal vesicle, we can see here, this is vas deferens which come from both of the side, from both of the testes, and then come into uh, around, moves around. We can see here seminal vesicle. This one is seminal vesicle. Then from here it moves on, like seminal vesicles releases some of the proteins, some of the chemicals, as well as uh, we can say some of the fluid, sticky fluid, to the sperms. Then the sperms move through this ejaculatory duct. You can see this one. Ejaculatory duct is present here, from where the sperms are ejaculated into that is into the urethra. And here the prostate gland is present. You can see this prostate gland. In this path, prostate gland also releases some enzymes as well as some proteins for the nourishing, as well as for the um, for we can say for the movement, easy movement of the sperms out of the penis. Then we are like having here in the diagram bulbourethral or Cowper's gland. These glands are also used to release some of the fluid inside this ejaculatory duct, and then it moves through the urethra out of the body. So now we will see the review of these sperms, how they moved out. They are formed in the testis. From epididymis, it moves into the vas deferens, and then through ejaculatory duct, it moves out of the urethra. You can see here the testis, then epididymis here, and then it moves through the vas deferens, then through ejaculatory duct, and through urethra it comes out of the body. What is the function of male reproductive system? Actually, they are specialized for the some of the functions, like to produce, maintain, and transport sperms. These are the male reproductive cells, and productive fluid is also produced by some glands which are present in this reproductive system to discharge a sperm within the female reproductive system. That is also the function of the copulatory organ, which is penis, and to produce and secrete some sex hormones which are very important for the secondary sex characteristics. Very, very important function of that is the spermatogenesis, like formation of the sperms, so which you have studied in the previous classes also, but take a review of that. Like spermatogenesis means formation of the sperm, so that is done by meiosis, and haploid spermatozoas develop from the germ cells in the seminiferous tubules of the testis. This process starts with the mitotic division. We know first two mitotic divisions are done. Here diploid cells are produced. Then again mitotic division is done, in which the numbers are increased and chromosomes just are duplicated. That is mitotic division. Primary spermatocytes are formed. Then then there is meiosis 1. The first meiotic division is done, in which secondary spermatocytes are formed, which are haploid in number. Then meiosis 2 is done, in which meiosis 2 we know that is as same as mitosis, and spermatids are formed which are haploid. Then from spermatids they undergo into several changes and spermatozoas are present. Spermatozoa are having head, neck, and a tail region, a tail for the movement, or and head for the penetration into the egg cells. And then they move from here the germ-line cells, and then spermatids are we can say the spermatocytes are formed. Then spermatids are formed in this structure, and later on they are changed into spermatozoa. This all is happened into, you can see the cross section of seminiferous tubules. They move from the epithelial lining towards inside the lumen of the cells. From lumen they move into this regitesti, and then into the vas deferens. There is very important role of hormones to control the male reproductive function, because all the function of the reproduction depends on this hormonal control. So very important hormone is testosterone, we know, but the trigger is from hypothalamus. That hypothalamus releases first its hormone. Which type of hormone? That is gonadotropin releasing a hormone. Gonadotropin releasing hormone, or gonadotropin, we can also say GnRH. GnRH released from a hypothalamus, then which is the trigger to release some other hormones from anterior pituitary. So it just stimulates anterior pituitary to release follicle stimulating hormone as well as luteinizing hormone. You can see here luteinizing hormone that affects on interstitial cells of that testis, and that FSH that release from anterior pituitary, and that affects on the seminiferous tubules. FSH stimulates the seminiferous tubules to produce sperms. As we know that sperms are produced in seminiferous tubules from primary spermatocytes or spermatogonium, which are with the lining or epithelial lining of the seminiferous tubules. Then sperm production is done. Very important role of these interstitial cells, which are triggered or stimulated by luteinizing hormone, that of production of testosterone. Testosterone not only important for the production of sperms, but it also just helps for the maturation of the sperms and to produce secondary sex characters. Luteinizing hormones that stimulates Leydig cells, that also called interstitial cells, that is also called Leydig cells. Leydig cells, and they are present between the seminiferous tubules, and inside the seminiferous tubules follicle stimulating hormones are is present, or that stimulates the Sertoli cells, which is helped to complete the development of the sperms from spermatids. So not only meiosis is important, but for production of these sperm cells, hormones are also having great function. But instead of this, it produces also one more hormone that is called inhibin. Inhibin hormone that also produced from Sertoli cells, that is triggered from LH from here. So this LH, when Sertoli cells produce interstitial cells that produce too, too many spermatids or sperms production, just it helps out in the sperm production as well. So then it also produces inhibin at the same time, and as well as testosterone at the same time, that just give the negative feedback to anterior pituitary to stop or reduce the production of LH as well as FSH. So always the sperm production does not occur, but when sperm production is completed for some time, so that testosterone and inhibin hormone that also gives negative feedback to the anterior pituitary to decrease or to uh, just stop the production of LH and FSH, because these two hormones are very important for for sperm production. So with this topic we have completed male reproductive system. So I hope you understood it. In the next lecture we will see female reproductive system. Wish you all the best. See you inshallah in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.